Yo, what is up, my guys and girls? I've been getting a lot of DMs recently from you. Keep it down, girls. Come on now.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Long time no see. We're going to jump right into this thing, baby. We're going to get y'all a Thursday night wrap-up. Unfortunately, we could not bring y'all the preview. Both of us had stuff going on. Life happens. Hopefully, you started Gabe Davis. You know the rules on here. If Gabe Davis has a down week, the very next week, he better be in your lineup. So, should we start with the winners or the losers on this one?
Let's start with the winners.
All right, let's start with Buffalo Bills. And a tight one, a good competitive game. So Josh Allen, guys, had a monster week. 2 touchdowns, 224 yards, 41 rushing yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Doing what we like to see out of him. Dual threat quarterback right there. Pretty accurate day. 86 QBR, so, you know, not just box scores type stuff. Khalil Shakir was a bit of a surprise in this one. He was second on the team in targets behind Gabe Davis and Stephon were both tied for 12. Shakir himself had 6. Shakir's a guy that I liked coming out of Boise State last year. This is his second year. Would be interested to see him involved, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to happen because we get excited just when Gabe Davis is involved as the number 2 receiver, which seems to be an up and down sort of thing, although this year he has been having a very solid year for what we're used to. So, and, you know, getting to that. So, I'm not going to sit here and say Shakir is by any means a waiver wire pickup or anything. I think this is kind of one of those games where another guy shows up, which is obviously good for the offense, but I wouldn't put too much stock into it. But Gabe Davis, guys, tied Stephon for leader in targets in this one for Buffalo with 12, as I said. Both had 9 receptions. Gabe had 87. Stephon had 70. Gabe found the end zone, which he has done quite a few times this year. So Gabe, to me, guys, as volatile as Gabe is, he's a lineup lock to me because his high has been really high this year. It hasn't, and he's had 5 games that I can recall where he's been like a should have been started guy.
Yeah.
You know, like a guy that should definitely have been in your lineup regardless, which is great for him. Stephon, obviously, people consider this a down game for him because he didn't have 100 yards or a touchdown, and it's like still had 9 for 70, which you'd take from any of your other players that aren't a top 5 wide receiver.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna say this guy was the highlight of the night, Dalton Kincaid, who obviously, guys, unfortunately we could not get to previewing this. Dawson Knox is on the IR now, so Kincaid, to me, is a must-start week in and week out. I think this is like a perfect, like, picture-perfect opportunity for him to showcase who he is, why he's a first-round pick. Luke picked him up in our league. Didn't start him. I don't know why. This is like the perfect opportunity to be a Kincaid owner. Hopefully you've held on to him or you picked him up when you saw the Knox injury news. So Kincaid, guys, moving forward is an automatic start for me. I think he should be in your lineup, no doubt about it. And then I'll finish this off with James Cook. He was the only disappointing piece of this offense. Only saw 1 target. So, I mean, you got to think if the top 2 receivers are having 24 targets between them and Kincaid's having 7. Shakir was obviously the surprise here with 6. James Cook was the odd man out. He did have a fairly solid day on the ground, had a long of 18, which kind of saved his average, which turned out to be 4.8, 14 carries on 67 yards. So you take away that 1. He had, 13 carries for 49 yards. Let's see. Yeah, so that comes out to 3.7, just about 3.8, however you want to look at it. But Cook, guys, he's going to have some games like this, but I still am a big James Cook believer. I was a believer coming into the season as we got closer to drafting season. I like him. He's a versatile player. We know it's just in this Bills offense, there seems to be a guy week to week that's the odd man out, unfortunately. This week it was James Cook. I still think he's a solid RB2 play season long. So moving over to Tampa Bay, Baker had a solid game, not a great game. Did put up 2 touchdowns and 237 yards along with 19 yards on the ground. So if you did start him, you know, fairly pleased for what you can expect out of Baker. Chris Godwin kind of took away, the focal point of this offense. In my opinion, he had 5 receptions, tied for the team lead in targets. This was a fairly spread out game for them, but Godwin finished with touchdown, 50 yards, 5 receptions. Evans also, not a huge game. Touchdown really saved his day. Had 3 for 39 touchdowns, 6 targets. So K. Dotton also had 6. Trey Palmer had 6, who's an interesting piece on this offense. And then you have Rachaad White, 7 for 7 on receptions and targets. The dude is 29 for 30. So Carter, I can't give you enough credit coming into the year, dude. You were highlighting he had 50 receptions last year on 58 targets. So his conversion percentage is just out of this world. He's only had one
target that wasn't caught.
One target that wasn't caught I haven't seen it with my eyes of what the incompletion was caused by, but only one all season. So Rachaad White, guys, and he only had 9 carries for 39, so he was still pretty efficient. Did have a long of 15, so that was the majority of his rushing yards. But if he's getting it done in the receiving game, we know who he is in the receiving game. So, that's a big thing. And he seemed – I really like him. I'm going to bring up his remaining schedule. If I recall correctly, I looked at it yesterday and was very, very intrigued by it. So if you're a Rachaad White owner or you traded for Rachaad White, good on you. Yeah, so he has upcoming – his only tough games are Tennessee – San Fran, which they're ranked number 12 against running backs, so not really bad, as in they're not really good against the run, but they're obviously not terrible at San Fran. And if they lock down your offense, then you're kind of luck's out of there. Atlanta and then New Orleans, but the rest of it is all bottom half teams, which is very good for Rachaad White. Hopefully he can get something going on the ground in addition to what he's able to do in the passing game. So those guys are good. K. Dotton's just a little highlight there. He did have 6 targets. Tight end's always bleak. So that wraps up Thursday night, guys. We're going to jump into our sleepers, bust, and locks here. You want to get us rolling?
Yeah. QB sleeper this week, I'm going to start off with C.J. Stroud at Carolina.
Another week, another C.J. Stroud prediction, baby.
Yep.
I love it.
And he's in my lineup this week, so I kind of need him. He just went into existence. So Carolina actually has a pretty good pass defense. I think they're number 11 against the quarterback. Really bad run defense, so that's kind of where they get exposed a lot of the time. Houston's rushing game, on the other hand, has been kind of lacking overall in terms of yardage this season and just overall output. So for me, my analysis on C.J. Stroud, I have right here, due for a breakout game after 2 middling weeks and a off week. So they've been preparing for this Carolina team for about 2 weeks now. My prediction for C.J. Stroud, I think he's going to end as a top 3 quarterback.
Wow.
And either with the most passing yards or most passing touchdowns this week. One of the two. I think this is kind of the game. Because I expect him to be a quarterback that people respect a lot. And he's going to need a couple of those weeks. This is going to be that week for me. And that's a lot also saying that Josh Allen just threw for 324. So
facts.
Either
Josh Allen's kind of like a lock right now.
Either more passing yards than Josh Allen at 324 or 4 touchdowns or something.
Lamar does play Arizona, so I feel like he's a lock for top 3 too. All right, so my sleeper at quarterback, guys, this is not a sexy pick at all. I cannot really think of anyone else. I'm going with Desmond Ridder here. Now, you could say this is a game where Atlanta takes control. They want to establish the win with the run game, but I'm going to go ahead and say with Tennessee's poor pass defense, I'm a Drake London owner. I'm starting Drake London this week. I think Drake London is going to have a nice week. I think Ridder is able to take advantage of this weak pass defense from Tennessee. We've seen Ridder a few weeks here now string together some all right games in terms of volume. I do think he has multiple touchdowns. We've seen him run the ball from the red zone type area to convert into touchdowns. So I do see at least 2 touchdowns one way or another, however you want to see it, from running, passing. And I predict 250 or more yards. So I do think he is a solid stream if you're in a bye crunch, injury crunch, something of that sort. I have no issue with Desmond Ridder. Obviously not a very sexy pick. We good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not a very sexy pick. Just a guy I think can be very viable this week.
All right. Sleepers for running backs. I'm going to stick with this Carolina matchup. And I just said that their rush defense was bad, so I'll just stick with, an overall good output from Houston here. Dameon Pierce is my pick. Just based off the fact I know Singletary is kind of a problem here. Getting a lot of work past couple weeks, but I think that Dameon Pierce has explosiveness and will still be seeing decent volume regardless of Singletary being there. That he'll be a good sleeper and someone that you can start this week.
Yeah, Carolina's really bad against the run too. As you said, but I do agree. Like Dameon Pierce, we've had him on the sleeper list a few times this year. He was going to be my sleeper running back also this week. So guys, we're both really hoping for Dameon to take that step up to who we know he can be, because he had a great year last year before getting injured, but have not seen that this year so far. Alexander Madison, believe it or not, guys, is going to be my running back sleeper. So I'm giving you two picks that are kind of a shot in the dark right now, I feel like. But one stat I saw today, Minnesota, all of their touchdowns all of their red zone touchdowns are passing touchdowns this year. I expect that to change. Green Bay is not very good against the run. I expect Madison to be able to exploit that a little. Now, I know people are kind of worried about Cam Akers. What is that going to look like? I still think Madison sees his touches. I think he's the trusted back. I think Madison is going to find the end zone in this one. I'm not guaranteeing it by any means because I don't like that mix. I just think he's a sleeper where if, again, buys, injuries, that sort of thing, I think Madison can be played, flexed. That's just how I see him this week. I think, 60, 70 total yards, 2 receptions and a touchdown, something like that.
Nice.
Green Bay is third worst against running backs. Carolina's second worst. So
yeah,
you got to take the matchups where you can get them, especially this time of year.
So I'm going to go with the wide receiver pick. I'm going QJ, a.k.a. Quentin Johnston.
Interesting.
Versus Chicago. This is due to the fact that Joshua Palmer has been limited all week, so there is potential that he doesn't play this week. If that's to happen, I especially like Quentin Johnston because someone's got to catch balls out there. And, it could be Davis, but I'm just going to stick with QJ. He's got to – we need something in this offense to spark it, and I think that Quentin Johnston will become a focal point in the last half of this season. We're going to need something headed forward with Mike Williams being a free agent after this year. I don't think we hold on to him. So we saw a little bit of downfield looks last week. He did get some targets downfield, which is something that's very promising, something we've been looking for from Herbert to Quentin Johnston. He's going up against Chicago. He's not going up against, Dallas or against the Chiefs, either their rush defenses. So Herbert will actually have time this week. I think he uses that time to find Quentin Johnston. Also, just more familiarity there, playing with that broken finger. It does take a while to adjust. I think Herbert starts to take a step up now, and especially against Chicago, I think Quentin Johnston can be a decent sleeper.
I would hope so because I really liked him coming out of TCU. I've said that, all podcasts, I feel like, and like you're saying, there's got to sometime it's got to happen. You feel like, so guys, I'm gonna roll with Drake London here. Stick with kind of hand in hand with my Desmond Ridder pick. I'm a Drake London owner, as I said. He is in my lineup. Tennessee's pass defense has been exploited year long. Drake London is a big play guy, so I'm expecting a lot of big plays. Roger McCreary, one of Tennessee's top 2 corners, is hampering right now with an injury. So if he's out also, I expect Drake London to feast. He is in for a big week, in my opinion. Drake London, I think, as I said, big play guy. We can really look for him. There's no other receiver on this offense. And if you're playing against an exploitable pass defense, that's everything adds up right here. So Drake London is my sleeper. I think he's a lineup lock this week. He's in my lineup, even amidst. I think I'm sitting Brandon Ayuk as of now. I have Nico Collins, Puka, and Drake London in. Ayuk misses the cut for me this week, so we'll see how that works out. But Drake London, guys, I think he's a home run hit this week.
Moving on to tight ends. Just when we counted them out, the Patriots come back,
Facts.
impress us all. I don't get it, but it's something in the air.
Making them choke up.
It's something in the air in New England. They're just a winning franchise. Now, I don't expect them to be a great team this year, but just interesting. Versus Miami this week, Hunter Henry is my sleeper. Just based off the fact Miami's kind of historically soft against the tight ends. Hunter Henry's one of those guys that you think you can probably start every week.
They're
just hoping
27th,
for something.
27th worst against tight ends, so
Yeah,
definitely exploitable.
right. So
Mac Jones is going to exploit anything.
right. So yeah, Hunter Henry this week.
All right, guys, I'm going with another tight end that is kind of due for a big week. Not necessarily a big week, but a big week in the tight end realm. And he hasn't done it since week 1. Also going against an exploitable defense, number 28 against tight ends. I'm going with Hayden Hurst here for the Carolina Panthers against Houston. I think Hayden Hurst puts it together. We haven't seen him do it since week 1. Everyone thought he was going to be a fantasy darling, kind of a sneaky play. I like Hayden Hurst personally. Just haven't seen it out of this offense. If there's a spot to exploit on this defense for Houston, it is at the tight end position. I like Hayden Hurst here. I would have him in my lineup compared to a few other guys that are in that similar range. I like Hayden Hurst this week at tight end.
So defense and special teams, I'm going to go Lions versus Raiders. Lions, -2 points last week. I think this whole Lions team is out to prove something now because that was kind of embarrassing against the Ravens. Raiders, on the other hand, are not a great offense by any means, so I think the Lions can exploit it.
Yep. I'm sticking with Atlanta here, guys. Clearly, you know who I'm going to pick in this matchup, especially with Tannehill out. But yeah, so with Tannehill out, obviously Atlanta guys, they already have they're a really underrated defense. We've kind of said this the last few weeks, kind of putting them out there, giving them their credit where credit's due. The Falcons guys, get them in your lineups. I don't need to say much more. Tannehill's out. They're really going to be one-dimensional. They have a good pass defense, good run defense. I see, just based off a low point projection for Tennessee, along with turnover possibility, is very high. So I think this is a very favorable matchup if you're looking to stream a defense, and one that your league mates might not be looking at the same way as you. So that wraps up our sleepers. Get us right into our bust.
My quarterback bust is Stafford. Sorry, guys, that's the sugar high.
Wow.
Versus Dallas. Dallas is a good defense. Coming off a bye.
It's so interesting.
Stafford has a shaky O-line protecting him. And Micah Parsons is a beast. So far, Stafford has had pretty average games. Nothing really to write home about. Now touchdowns to fall back on. And now that it's the week that I say he doesn't get the touchdowns, it probably is the week he gets the touchdowns. He's still a really good quarterback. Throws for a lot of yards almost every week. But he's my bust.
Yeah, Stafford's been really unfortunate. A guy that I feel like we both had in our sleeper pick
I still
quite
think
a few weeks.
He'll be solid rest of the season.
The touchdowns have not come, and that's really what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Although, Puka and Kupp, although Kupp had the bust week this past week, have both been pretty good. I don't know. It's just a weird situation. Geno's my bust this week, guys, going against a stout Cleveland defense. Although we did see Minshew ball out, although he had 4 turnovers. He put up 4 touchdowns, I believe, 2 passing, 2 rushing. Geno just has not really put it together this year. I played him in one of my other leagues against Arizona last week. Was really looking forward to a big week from him. He did not show it. So I just haven't seen from Geno what I really expected. He seems to be a solid floor play, just not a big, ceiling guy right now. So Geno, I think, going against a tough defense, although they are at home. So I just didn't really see any other notable quarterbacks that I thought would bust this week. I think a lot of quarterbacks have solid matchups, or they're in high-scoring matchups. So, I could give you Josh Dobbs if you want me to, but to give you something a little more juicy, I'm just going with Geno Smith here. I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game.
For my running back, I'm going to go Alexander Madison versus the Packers. The guy you had a sleeper. I'm going to go with bust here. Shaky start to the season, but he has come on a little bit stronger as a more consistent fantasy option. He has a good matchup on paper, as you were saying. Last week, he was actually out-carried by Akers, which is an interesting development. You almost never seen that in Minnesota unless there's like some underlying thing, maybe like an injury, or you just don't see that often. So interesting. I'm not going to go ahead and say Akers is going to become the lead back. I probably don't think that's going to happen, although I don't think it's not going to happen. Just interesting. He was out-carried by him. So if there's some type of split, I wouldn't expect a big week from Madison there. But, yeah. I'm pretty excited because I have Akers, so I'd like to just kind of watch and see what happens there.
This guy hasn't learned yet, clearly.
I know you don't like Akers, but I'm excited about him.
So, guys, in coherence with Carter's Lions pick at defense, my running back bust of the week is Josh Jacobs. I'm going to throw in Brian Robinson here, too, for the Commanders. But Josh Jacobs, guys, on a really efficient, atrocious Raiders offense, going against a great Lions rush defense. I believe they're number 1, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of yardage allowed. Against running backs in terms of fantasy points allowed, they are number 3. So a lot of that came from Gus Edwards last week, I'm guessing. So not a good matchup, guys, on an already inefficient team where Josh Jacobs has already been inefficient except in the passing game. And if that's not there, he's not going to offer you much this week. Josh Jacobs, guys, I would go as far to say if I had him, he would not be in my lineup.
All right.
Like, he's a lock of a bust, in my opinion.
Josh Jacobs, that's interesting just because of the volume. It's hard to sit him.
It is, but, like, I don't know. It just doesn't add up very well. And they're playing in Detroit, too, so.
Gotcha.
Yep, that's how I feel.
Wide receiver bust. I'm gonna stick with George Pickens. This guy I had last week. I'll stick with him this week. And Deontay Johnson versus the Jaguars. I just see the Steelers. They're not exactly like a pass-heavy team. I think they're kind of more run-centered, defensive-minded, old school. Mike Tomlin doesn't know what he's doing. He just goes out there and wings it every week, but, gets it done. As long as T.J. Watt's out there, I think they got a chance.
That's fair.
The Jaguars' defense over the past couple of weeks haven't been exactly insanely impressive, like, fantasy output-wise, but they're passing the eye test for me, and I think that they just continue to develop as a team and like take that elite step, So I'm gonna just stay away from those Steelers wide receivers.
So I'm staying away from Marquise Brown this week, guys. I know that hurts for me to say for you.
No, I'm saying
even though you could look at this as a bit of a revenge game, whatever you want to say, going against Baltimore this week, I think Baltimore's riding this high against the Lions. I think they want to show that they don't want to give Arizona any types of life. They want to show that they're 5-2. I think people still are like, okay, we've seen this from the Ravens before, and then they come out and dud, or they don't show us throughout the entire season that there's this dominant team. So I think they want to keep their foot on the gas. I don't think they're going to show any mercy. I got Baltimore hanging out 40, allowing no more than 10 points this week. I think it's going to get really ugly there in Arizona. So Marquise Brown, guys, I'm just not starting him. I think Josh Dobbs is going to get harassed. Kyler Murray is not back yet, obviously. I'm just not seeing it for Marquise Brown this week.
All right. Tight end bus. I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts at Tennessee. So I'm stuck with Kyle Pitts.
Back it up.
Tennessee is ranked 7th against tight ends in PPR leagues, so tough matchup to start off. Only 2 games this year with over 6 targets, 2 games with double-digit points. And he's still competing with Jonnu Smith and Drake London, who I think is actually becoming a viable week-to-week start with the uptick in Desmond Ridder's passing volume.
Let's go!
Kyle Pitts, I'm staying away from him this week. He stinks.
All right, guys. This is going to be a little controversial because I call him the most consistent tight end here week in and week out. I'm giving you Evan Ingram as my bust. Pittsburgh is good against tight ends, and I also think Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk coexist this week. I think we see a Ridley, I don't know if we call it a boom or just back to what we all expect, but I think we see life out of Calvin Ridley. I think we see life out of Christian Kirk, who we've seen life out of all seasons so far except for week 1. So I see Ingram. I'm going to say he gets under his 9 points. That's kind of been his threshold for the year, anything between 9 and 12 points. I think he scores around 6 or 7 here, even though I think this is a bad prediction. Evan Ingram, you're still starting him, obviously. I have no issue with that. I'm not going to sit there and tell you you're wrong for that. Just if I have to pick someone, I like to be a little ballsy. I'm not going to give you someone like Cole Kmet or something. That's really boring. I think Evan Ingram is just – he's playing a tough matchup, and I think Calvin Ridley does very well in this matchup also, which takes away from Ingram's share. So that's my analysis.
All right, for all of you guys that wanted to start the Bears defense this week, don't do it. I think that the Chargers are going to come in and pound them to the ground.
You see the jersey. You see it.
The Bears defense is my bust.
I wonder why. All right, guys. Enough of that. My bust is New Orleans. We saw what Indy did last week to a great Cleveland defense in Cleveland. They should have won that game, in all honesty. Cleveland fans, you can debate me however you want. A lot of those penalties were BS. But I'm saying New Orleans, as much as Carter and I have raved about that defense on this show this year, it is a great defense. I think Minshew is really showing us that he can engineer a great, not a great offense, but a high-flying offense. He still has to clean up his turnovers, as I mentioned earlier. New Orleans guys sit. They're playing in Indy. I think it's very favorable to them, Indianapolis, in this matchup. So I'm sitting New Orleans, or I'm streaming a different defense.
Okay, so my lock of the week.
The lock.
It's going to be Christian McCaffrey for Cincinnati. I'm tired of my locks missing, so I'm just going to go with CMC. I think his absolute floor is 6.1 fantasy points. That'd be a touchdown and 1 yard on the carry. I think that's his actual floor because he's a tight end, or he's a touchdown machine. He's not a tight end. And nor does he produce tight end. He might have a kid that might become a tight end one day.
I don't know. Their whole family's football players.
So,
or just athletes in general.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Facts.
16 consecutive games with a touchdown, which is bonkers. That's basically a full season.
So you're saying he goes for 17?
Yeah.
You're saying he makes it a 2023 full season? Now that we.
Oh,
no. I'm saying like since we play 17 games now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that's insane.
Dude,
like that is bro. I don't know if you saw it or if any of you guys that watched this saw this post on Instagram. I don't know. My friend showed it to me. It was if you took your winnings, I don't know what you would have started with, like $10 on a McCaffrey anytime touchdown from when the streak started, and the winnings you kept.
Bold prediction, McCracken.
Oh, that's Luke. That's Luke.
Oh, that's Luke.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
What's up?
That would have been so weak if that was my dad. But what are we talking about? Damn, that threw me off.
CMC. Your bet.
Oh, so yeah, if you bet $10 and then your winnings, if you kept putting your winnings back on anytime touchdown for 16 straight weeks, you would have made like $500,000 now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So guys, my lock. Are you done?
Should have done that.
You done creaming over McCaffrey?
Bro. Hey, you were creaming.
All right, guys, my lock is Lamar Jackson. Like I said earlier, I think the Ravens are going to feast on the Cardinals. I think they want to keep their foot on the pedal. They showed that they can hang with the heavyweights when they blew out Detroit. I think they do the same here against the Cardinals. I think Lamar hangs 4 touchdowns on them. I don't see much life out of this Arizona team this week. I really like Baltimore in all facets of the game. If they got a BAL next to their name, they're in your lineup besides Justice Hill. But yeah, so Lamar's my lock, guys. I think he keeps up the hot streak right now.
All right, so Gordon asks Hopkins or Henderson at flex.
I don't like either of those options, to be honest. I'd have to roll with Henderson just because, Hopkins is obviously the alpha, but with Malik Willis or Will Levis thrown to you, I don't really like that. I have to roll with Henderson. Cowboys. That's why I said neither of those are good options. But Henderson was the trusted guy last week, so he's got to roll, Yeah. And that's kind of what I said going into the week 2 was that I like Henderson more than either of the other guys because he has the familiarity. I think he has trust from McVay, and he did well with his opportunity. So I think McVay raised that hand. I like Henderson more, even though I'm a big Hopkins guy. So
yeah. Go with Henderson.
Yeah, you benched Kincaid, you idiot.
Benched Kincaid.
Moron. I'm talking to my brother's guy, so if you think I'm being mean or whatever.
His brother's name is Gordon.
You can give it to me later. This guy's an idiot.
Missed out on a big bag of candy, Gordon.
Yeah, and a big bag of 17 points from your tight end, you moron. Bench Kincaid with Knox on the IR. Yeah. Look at us.
Getting fat.
All right, bro. You ready to bust into this preview?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right.
We're
going down to Miami. We got New England coming in. New England never wins in Miami. I know where I'm predicting here, just to give you a little preview. Mac Jones is not, he's just not a guy I'm ever looking to stream, guys. He's just not on my radar. I will say Ramondre, I did foreshadow that he would do well in the receiving game, and he did against the Bills last week, as we saw Rachaad White do this week against the Bills. So I do like Ramondre to kind of keep the hot hand. I think Bill Belichick understands that if this offense is going to get anything, it's going to be through Ramondre. So Ramondre I like this week. Miami is middle of the pack in terms of fantasy points given up to running backs. So I like Ramondre this week. What's your opinion on Kendrick Bourne? Because I remember, I forget what one guy's question was, but it was Kendrick Bourne or someone, and I told him Kendrick Bourne, and at first I was worried because I think it was through the first quarter and he didn't have any receptions. And then he ended up having 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had a monster game.
I forget who the other guy was too, but the other guy did terrible. I mean, I don't think he's reliable, but he's someone that in a tight spot you could play.
To me, yeah.
He's not consistent by any means.
Right, but to me, in my opinion, you got to start him until he proves you wrong, because he's had 2 really strong weeks, and you think Belichick would kind of be okay, kind of got to use this guy. He's the only guy giving us life in our passing game. So, and I know you predicted Hunter Henry as your sleeper, but I just think you got to roll with Bourne until he shows you otherwise.
Well, yeah, both can be good.
Yeah. And then Hunter Henry, guys, yeah, he does have a favorable matchup. So if you want to stream Henry this week, I don't mind it. I will say Miami allows the 7th most points to receivers, so Bourne is a good matchup this week. So moving on though, Miami, just start them all. In my opinion, there's no reason to contemplate it.
What's the news on Jeff?
On Jeff Wilson?
Yeah.
That up real quick.
Is he playing this week?
That's a good question. I saw that. Mostert's good to go. Tyreek's good to go. Waddle's limited. I don't see anything about Jeff, so he should be good.
Okay, so maybe a little bit of that Mostert touchdown upside gets taken away. Probably a little bit of his first down work too. They're probably gonna be a 1A 1B type of thing.
Right. I still like Mostert. I think you gotta play him as long as Achane's out. You gotta play him.
He is their explosive guy.
Right. So I'm taking Miami in this one. That's an easy pick in my opinion. I'm not thinking twice about it.
Over the Patriots.
Bro.
Over Bill?
All right.
I'm just playing. I'm picking them too.
I was gonna say, bro. New England's notorious. They never win in Miami, even when Brady was there.
Yeah.
So move.
DJ Moore or Pollard as my flex.
Pollard. That's easy. That's so easy to me. I know DJ Moore has the best matchup in all of football at the wide receiver position. You got to roll Pollard, bro. He's your first or second round pick. He's been he had a good game against the Chargers, but that was because of that 80-yard catch. But I think you got to roll with Pollard. I think he's due for a boom game. You got to play the ups and downs of fantasy. You got to be able to get both of them in there though, because
I really
Hopkins. You're playing both of them over Hopkins or Henderson if that's what you're. I
think this is 2 different leagues.
I don't know. Regardless.
Because he doesn't have DJ Moore in our league, does he?
No.
Yeah, that's
Foster does.
It's probably his OD team.
No. Oh yeah, it might be. Yeah,
no,
I'd say.
No,
yeah, it is. I'd say Pollard. That's the guy you got to roll with. You don't have much choice. No, my dad has him in that league.
Oh.
I don't know. He's just probably giving us content.
I'm
Pollard,
going with.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, to me that's a pick 'em.
You can't overthink it. All right, so we got a New York matchup this week, guys, which is always interesting. I don't know. This is just cool to me. I don't know why. The Giants are the home team.
Big Green versus Big Blue.
Big Green versus Big Blue, as Carter would say. For the Jets, I really like Breece Hall.
Okay.
I like Garrett Wilson. I think those two guys are the only two I would really consider even thinking about starting. I'll see how are the Giants against. So the Giants are actually top 10 against tight ends. So I was gonna throw out Conklin as a stream, but I ain't doing it. So Wilson and Hall are the only two guys. Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall are the only two guys you should be thinking about starting on this Giants or on this Jets team. And obviously their defense, I think you can start against the Giants.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, add anything in if you want, but Saquon and Waller are the only two on the Giants side of things I'm thinking about starting. I think that's easy.
Mm.
But what's not easy is who are you taking? Because obviously, the Giants are coming off a win against my Redskins.
Yeah. Notable too, Jalen Hyatt had a good game.
He had a good game.
I'm rooting for that guy.
Yeah, you and I are both kind of waiting for a big boom week out of him.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the. Okay, can this be a contingent?
Contingent on what?
If Daniel Jones plays.
If Daniel Jones plays, are you going with the Jets?
Yeah. But if he doesn't, I actually like Tyrod leading this Giants offense.
Okay. Yes, but if you had to give me a pick just right now, just give me I'll take your contingent, but if you had to give me a pick right now.
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, right now
well,
Daniel Jones playing?
Yeah, I was gonna say no. Let's actually look. The Giants.
Because dude, Darren Waller's been actually
he has. Waller's question. So Daniel Jones is ruled out.
All right, I'm going Giants.
That's kind of. Yeah, I just like the way I think Tyrod did a lot better than we expected.
Yeah. He limits the turnovers a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with the Jets. I mean, so.
Or start both and bench Olave. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I agree.
Bench Olave.
Because Badgett.
Yeah.
Badgett.
Tyler Badgett.
Yeah, he was feeding more, although it wasn't much, yardage, but he had a bunch of touches.
I think he could be somewhat decent. He's a good backup.
All right. So we have our first split for the week. Interesting.
Giants.
You're taking Big Blue. I'm taking Big Green, baby.
Giants better with Tyrod. I
Agreed,
agree.
Gordon. All right. This is one of the only interesting games to me this week. Jacksonville coming into Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh's 4-2, bro. I don't think a lot of people realize that right now. They've beat, not that the Rams are good or anything. They're 3-4, but they're still a solid team. They've beaten the Ravens, the Browns, and the Rams. And I forget who the other team was that they beat. I know they lost to.
I think the Bengals, right?
Nah. The Raiders. So they lost to San Fran, which is obviously and then they lost to Houston, which is respectable. So I think we were really ready to throw them out, but they could go 2-1 in these next 2 weeks and end up 6-3, and be right there with the Ravens and the Browns.
Yeah.
So really interesting because they got Jags, Tennessee, Green Bay. So very interesting schedule. So we'll start with Jacksonville, the visiting team here, guys. As I said earlier, I think this is an exploitable secondary for Pittsburgh. We saw Nakua do great, although Kupp didn't do well. But I think that was just pure. Mike Tomlin was like, all right, if anyone's beating us, it's not Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, that was that.
So
exactly.
I think Ridley, Kirk coexist. Obviously, Evan Ingram is a play, guys. He's one of the best tight ends in fantasy football. I just think he has a down week this week. I still think you're starting him. It's just is what it is. And I also want to say, I think this is the Trevor Lawrence game. I think this is a game we've been waiting for.
Really?
Yes. I think this is the 3-touchdown, 300-yard game we've been waiting for.
Wow.
Yeah. I think this is the game. We've been waiting too long. We're almost halfway through the season.
Wow.
I've had it.
Wow.
If he doesn't do it now, I don't know when he's going to do it.
I mean, we were saying preseason not to draft him anyway,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen this game or at all the way we expect it. Just based off
You don't
that.
think he's going to have one good game? Or at all?
But, yeah, he was almost my bust, so that's interesting. I mean, sure. They got TJ Watt, though, so just watch out.
So just Watt out.
Watt out.
All right. Jacksonville's a popular stream on defense this week too, which I don't mind at all. I was deciding between them and Miami, but when you're facing Mac Jones, you're facing Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Najee has life.
Yes.
He has life.
Yes.
As you can tell, I'm a Najee owner. I don't know where to go from there. Jacksonville has a really good defense.
I think. Like, bro, like, he's talented enough. He's getting volume.
They need to run more play action with him in, so then every time he comes in, the defense doesn't know that they're running.
Yeah, they just stack the box every time.
Yeah, that might help. Matt Canada.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am gonna say I think one of these Steelers receivers does well. Yeah, bring up the advanced Najee stats. I love it. I think one of these receivers do well. I can't really tell you which one. I know George Pickens is going to see a lot of Tyson Campbell. Tyson Campbell's a very good young corner. I think Deontay Johnson, we saw him do very well his first game back against the Rams. One of them are going to do well. I can't tell you which.
So 27.3% of the time going up against the stacked box.
Which is good for 6th in the league, yeah.
It's just funny because I was actually I saw Bijan Robinson at 5.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to get some more split looks, so that's why they didn't, like some more spread out defenses, so that's why they didn't like play Bijan last week. But no, Tyler Algier is at the top, so I don't know what's going on there, but
because Desmond Ritter's our quarterback.
Yeah, play Cordero Patterson, I guess. I don't know. R.I.P. Bijan, but
so
that's funny.
Pittsburgh, I'm not playing Kenny. Najee's a slight flex for me, maybe. He's on my lineup. I have too many good receivers, and I have Jahmyr Gibbs, and I can't stand this guy.
Harris ain't doing.
Look how many comments. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really excited. I think Deontay Johnson and George Pickens have to be in your lineup. I think one of them is going to do well. It's just hard to guess who.
Yeah.
In this type of matchup for me. So, which way are you leaning on this one?
My busts. I'm going with Jacksonville, man. They're on a hot streak.
So, in the newspaper, my dad showed me this. I don't know. I don't think the column was like a local column. I think they got it from somewhere else and put it in the Virginia Beach newspaper.
Yeah.
They had Jacksonville ranked as the number 4 team.
Really?
I do not agree with that at all.
I mean,
off the top of my head, you got Kansas City, Detroit.
Okay.
I know Detroit just got blown out, but I like Detroit more than Jacksonville. You got San Fran. You got the Ravens. You got Philly. You got Miami.
So I like Kansas City and San Fran for sure.
Don't tell me you like Jacksonville more than Philly, bro.
No, I like Philly more.
Miami?
Not Miami.
Really?
Miami hasn't impressed me in big games. If you look at their wins, it's all against. I think the best team they played was like the Chargers.
That's why I switched to Philly.
Yeah.
In our pick last week. What about Cincy? I know Cincy's 3-3.
Yeah, I'd take Jacksonville over Cincy right now.
Would you take Jacksonville over Detroit?
Yeah.
Would you take Jacksonville over Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe they are top 4
I like
for you.
them.
Well, Jacksonville or Buffalo? Jacksonville did beat Buffalo. We saw head-to-head, but the whole London thing, Jacksonville being there for a week.
I take Jacksonville. I think.
All right. Maybe they are a top 4 team. All right.
I don't mind it. That's all I'm saying.
Interesting.
I think that it's definitely close. Is Bijan still a start?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Oh.
He can't
replicate. What was it, 1 point something?
He had an illness.
Oh, okay. All right.
He had the bubble guts. He's fine.
Okay. So yes. No. I don't know what that was.
All right. Next game. We got Atlanta
Probably
coming into
Jacksonville.
Tennessee. Stop.
But
Stop.
that's probably the Jacksonville.
So Atlanta guys coming into Tennessee
I don't
game.
know who of them is like clearly better than Jacksonville.
I just don't think they're a top 4 team. That's hard for me to declare. All right, Atlanta coming into Tennessee. A game kind of highlighted a bit already with my picks for the sleepers. I like this Atlanta offense coming against this Tennessee defense. Tennessee is on a downturn right now. It is in Tennessee, and Mike Vrabel always has his guys right. But I just think they're outmatched this week. Injured quarterback on an offense that's already not looking good. A defense that is not good except against the run. Although I do, like we just answered, Bijan's in your lineup. He's starting. Drake London is a smash start this week. He's in my lineup. Tells you a lot. I'm sitting Ayuk right now as it currently stands. Kyle Pitts.
Bust.
Bad matchup. I think you still have to start him. I'm going to say that. I think Desmond Ritter's a solid stream. Obviously not the best you can do. I do think there are better options out there. Atlanta's defense is certainly a stream. What's your outlook on Derrick Henry this week?
So for me, I'm actually, I'm kind of like a Falcons homer for whatever reason. I just like picking them to win.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going to pick Tennessee this week. This is kind of like a team that Tennessee wants to go up against. It kind of favors both of these teams, actually. Just like possess the ball, run a lot. Tennessee, I think, has the better run defense here. And they're going to be able to shut down the Falcons a little bit better than the Falcons will be able to shut down the King. So I think Henry's due for at least a touchdown, probably 70 yards or so in a touchdown. So
I thought we weren't
14,
speaking on
15
Derrick
points.
Henry anymore.
Wait, yeah, okay, so was that a question, just a trap to see if I'd say something?
All right.
Chill.
Our picks are locked, boys.
All right, but going back to Jacksonville, I want to mention one of the reasons I do actually believe in them is because of Doug Peterson. He's a great coach. I really like Doug Peterson.
I agree. He's a great offensive mind, just a great player coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Is Bijan a start after .3 last week?
Yes.
Okay, so it was .3.
Yeah. Yeah, he got his first carry in like the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left or something.
Yeah.
So that's a quick game, guys. Atlanta, Tennessee. I'm taking Atlanta in that one. I just think they're the better overall team. I'd be really impressed to see them at 5-3.
Yeah, it would.
So going to Houston, Carolina, another game we kind of previewed a little bit, touched on in our sleepers and bust. I'll let you talk because you got quarterback and running back both in your sleeper.
Okay, so Carolina coming in at 0-6. I'm going to go with Houston here.
Yes.
So at quarterback, you guys heard what I said about C.J. Stroud. Gordon, if you weren't on yet when we were doing our sleepers, busts, and locks, I got C.J. Stroud as number 1 in either passing yards or passing touchdowns this week. I think he's just going to spark. That's a lot, saying that Josh Allen had 324 passing yards already. So he's going to be somewhere around 375 if he is to hit the passing yards mark or, 3 or 4 touchdowns.
So you're telling me to start Nico Collins?
Yeah.
Woo, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, I am.
And then Dameon Pierce, obviously a start going against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. Hope to see some life out of him. The team's coming off a bye. Hopefully they got a good game plan in store for him. Nico Collins, guys, as you just heard, is a start. He's in my lineup. I think Tank Dell's a bit of a sneaky play here. He's coming off his bye, concussion, that sort of thing. I might like to see it if I'm a Tank Dell owner before I play him. But I think he's also one of those guys where it's like you can't wait. You kind of have to be ahead of playing him because when he does well, the next week he's going to bust, that sort of thing. So yeah. I don't think he's a reliable week in, week out player. I'm starting Dalton Schultz too. He's been really good in the last 3 weeks, I want to say. Mm-hmm. He's been very, very solid. Although this Carolina team's not great. They're kind of middle of the pack in terms of tight end points allowed. So I do like Schultz. I think he's one of those better mid-range options at tight end. Mm-hmm. If he's still available in your league, he should definitely be picked up.
Yeah.
On Carolina, the only guy I'm going to touch on, well, I'll touch on 2 guys. Obviously, Adam Thielen should be in your lineup. And then I think Hayden Hurst, guys, you heard me say it. He's my sleeper at the tight end position this week. Houston's not great against the tight end position, and I think Hayden Hurst is just it's just law of averages here. Hayden Hurst has not done well since week 1. I think he comes back. I think he has a good week this week. So we're both riding Houston in this one. I think this is an easy pick. It's just be kind of unfortunate to see Carolina go to 0-7, but it is what it is. Not my team, so.
Yeah, I'm not sad at all. Is Kincaid a must start here on
Yes. 100%.
All right.
100%. As long as Dawson Knox is on the IR, yes. He was a first-round pick. He's going to be – I mean, you see what he does the first week. Knox goes out. Like, yes, absolutely. He has to be. He's very talented. So moving to a big game, the Rams coming into the Big D.
I don't know why you always be calling him Big D.
Yeah, this is Big D, baby. It's Dallas, baby. The Big D. All right. The Rams, obviously we know Dallas has a great defense. Dallas is favored by 6 here, which I don't mind. As you mentioned, the strength of this Cowboys defense is going against the weakness of this Rams offense. So that's going to be the thing to watch. That is going to determine this game. I will say that. You're absolutely correct on that. That's where most games are determined, believe it or not, guys. Yeah, I know we're playing fantasy football, and the big guys don't get much love, but that is what determines most of the games. So for the Rams, I'm not a huge fan of playing these running backs. I know Henderson's probably the guy that most people are looking to play. I'm just not into it going against the Cowboys defense. Obviously, you're starting Puka and Kupp, though. Yeah. Stafford is in a void for me this week, as you said. Although Sparks could fly in this one. It's 2 big-name teams going against each other. It's just one of those ones where it could be, 32-28 or something. Yeah. Absolutely. I can see it. It's just I wouldn't bet on such a thing.
All right.
Now for Dallas, I know the Rams have a good run defense, but I think Pollard has a good week, rested up off the bye week, as well as CD. I think this Dallas offense gets back into the flow of things. I think everyone that we expect to be good is good. What is your opinion? Because Brandon Cooks came off the big week against the Chargers going into the bye week. How do you view him? I'll ask you this week and season long.
Okay, so for me, doing something good against the Chargers is not very impressive to me.
They are 32nd in terms of points allowed.
Especially as a wide receiver.
Right.
Like, we made Dak look like, he was back in year 1, year 2. We made Tannehill look great. We make everyone look great. If Staley's still there, you're going to do good. So Brandon Cooks had a good week. That doesn't impress me by any means. So I kind of see him the same way I did before, as someone that I'm still going to have to see it. This week will kind of determine, I think, a lot, because you do expect, although it's not impressive to do it against the Chargers, it was done. So let's see if they keep riding that. Let's see if they keep feeding him. And if that is to happen, then rest of the year, I do see him as a viable flex option.
Right. The Rams are also a top 5 defense against wide receivers.
Yeah, so if he gets 7 targets, I start to consider.
I like him. You got to keep him season long, I think.
Yeah, you're not dropping.
Just watch him.
I don't think so, no.
So where do you go on this? I'm going with Dallas. I just think they're all around the better team. They just have not really impressed.
Okay, wait. Maybe that's disconnected.
Reconnection successful.
Okay, guys. So I don't know where we just lost right there for a second, but basically we were picking between the Rams and Dallas, and we both picked Dallas.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, this Rams team is outmatched. They've just kind of been a bit disappointing. Stafford has not been who we have projected him to be so far this year. So next one, we got a divisional matchup. Minnesota coming into Green Bay. The line is even on this one. Minnesota is obviously mounting some momentum, not only for fans in the NFL, but obviously at Vegas with this being even now, although Green Bay has not done well since their 2-1 start.
Yeah.
Cousins is obviously a start. He had a monster week against San Fran. Shout out to the Vikings for the upset. They won 3 straight now, obviously. Started out 0-4, so that's big for them. The NFC is kind of wide open after the first 3 or 4 teams. So, obviously you're starting Addison. Is KJ Osborne in your lineup? The Packers are good against receivers too. Also, so before that, Brandon Powell, is he? You remember Balil Powell?
Yeah.
So Brandon Powell, is he a stash for you as long as Jefferson is out? Because he looked pretty good last week against the Niners.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I don't see the.
I think there's better
value
people
really
you could
either.
get.
Right, I agree. So I will say, I don't mind Madison this week. I also don't mind Akers. I think if you're an owner of either, and kind of throw them in there, roll the dice, see how that goes. I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm just not super against it. Green Bay is not good against the run. As I've said, Minnesota does not have many, if any. I forget if the stat is that they don't have any rushing touchdowns this season, or if in the red zone they don't have any rushing touchdowns. I forget what it is. Clearly, they have not scored many touchdowns on the ground, so I expect them to have one here against Green Bay. Who that goes to is a bit of a mystery. So I like those receivers. I like T.J. Hockenson, obviously, on Green Bay's side of things. If Aaron Jones is out, I don't give a rat's butt about A.J. Dillon. I could not care less about him. I'm not excited about him at all. He's a sit in any format, any league. 4-man, 8-man, 10-man, 12-man, 14-man, 16, 18, 24-man. I don't care. A.J. Dillon is not in your lineup. He's garbage. If Aaron Jones is playing, you can play Aaron Jones, I guess. Reports have not looked very good in terms of his level of activity this week. I do like Romeo Doubs. Doubs has been about the only bright spot on this team. Minnesota's pass defense is pretty weak, as we know. So I like him. I like Musgrave if Musgrave is playing. Don't quote me on that. So Musgrave is officially questionable for Week 8. Christian Watson is good to go for Week 8. Okay, so I thought he was out. So
I was gonna mention.
I like Christian Watson against this team because this is the type of team where you can really explode against.
Yeah, I like
and he's that type of player. Okay, Aaron Jones has no injury designation, so I think he is a start. I really like Aaron Jones. Yeah, so that's it. I like them. I like Dobbs. I'm gonna say I like Watson. I like Dobbs, and I like Jones this week. So I would sit Musgrave this week personally. Questionable coming in. Hasn't shown really consistency. Jordan Love has not been as good as we were hoping from the start of the season. He's gonna have to figure things out. I think LaFleur needs to do more to help him though.
Mm-hmm.
I put it more on coaching than I do Jordan Love. Where are you going in this?
Something tells me to go Green Bay, but then like my mind tells me that we go Vikings. I'm gonna roll with the Vikings. I think they're the better team here.
I'm gonna have to roll with you on that. Like you said, dude, I can just see the Green Bay magic coming out at Lambeau.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like the Packers, but Minnesota's the clear choice here.
All right.
I don't think LaFleur is like an excellent coach anymore.
I don't
either.
He's not.
I really don't.
Aaron
think
Rodgers
he's
made
that
him look good.
Yeah, I don't think he's that great.
He's great at X's and O's. I don't think he's good at adjusting. I don't think he's good at leading a team.
Yeah, because you see that Packers usually start the games off pretty well. So, I think, just simple draw up, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as you said.
So, this is another interesting game to me. New Orleans and Indy. Probably the second most interesting game this week, as pitiful as that is, behind Jacksonville and Steelers for me. I think that's the most interesting game.
New Orleans, Indy.
No, Jacksonville and Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
New Orleans and Indy's right there, though.
I think the Rams Cowboys is decent.
It's pretty interesting. I just put the other two in a little bit ahead. But
Okay.
I'm a bit of an Indy homer.
Yeah, you are. Josh Downs, bro.
Okay. I was gonna say this because we haven't had. Obviously, this is our first cast of the week. I just gotta say, guys, if you look at all these mainstream fantasy analysts, they're behind.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say on these waivers and stuff. I mean, I was telling you all last week about Rashi Rice. That is. I was talking about him preseason.
Yeah.
I was talking about him, all throughout the season, and now everyone's on him that he's supposed to be the number one waiver wire pickup. He's Kansas City's number one receiver. I've been telling you this for a while. Same with Josh Downs. We were about 3 weeks ahead of him. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head at the moment, but I just gotta say that I've been scrolling through.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ Stroud. Just been looking through like some pages, and it's just kind of laughable.
Yeah.
I just gotta say that. So, anyways,
Even Tajay, I think we were a
Yeah.
little bit ahead.
yeah, I'll say that. I'll agree. So New Orleans guys coming into Indy. I think this is gonna be a high flying matchup. I actually do. I think both teams score over, 20, 24 or so. As I projected earlier, for the Saints to be a bust defense, so that kind of goes hand in hand with that. I like Carr in this matchup. Kamara, obviously, you're starting. That's no question. You know me, guys. I do like Olave. I do want to temper expectations. I think I'm smelling and sensing Rashid Shaheed. I don't know if that's just me,
That's just you.
but my Shaheed senses are tingling.
I don't know what it means to smell Shaheed, but
I'm feeling some Rashid Shaheed, baby.
all right.
If not this week, next week. If not next week, the week after that.
Smells are floating over from New Orleans to Virginia Beach, or from Indianapolis, I guess.
Yes. I like it.
There must be like a nor'easter wind or something. However that works. One of those things.
Nor'easter. Okay, back on track. I do like the Saints receivers. I think you can start. Shaheed's so hard for me to declare a start because he's just so boom or bust. But I don't mind getting all three of those guys into your lineup. Obviously, Kamara's in your lineup. I like Carr in the lineup. I have him in my lineup right now with Justin Fields out. I would sit the Saints defense. So for Indy, did you see the Cleveland game
Yeah.
last week? They
Uh-huh.
got screwed. I mean, they got absolutely screwed. Like, that pass interference call was complete and total BS.
Mm-hmm. Bro, you know what else is BS? This is a little bit off topic, but it's on the topic of pass interference being BS.
Yeah.
Bro, I was rewatching the final 2 minutes of the Super Bowl last year. The Eagles got screwed.
Oh, with the holding call?
Yeah.
Why? That's holding.
Dude, no. Bro,
You're talking about the Juju hold.
quote unquote,
Bro, you grabbed his jersey.
barely.
Okay, but if you impede a receiver, I mean, I may be biased because I'm a receiver, but like, if you could see a tug of the jersey, then like they're gonna call that all day. It doesn't matter whether it was subtle or not.
I just think it's terrible. That's the way that Super Bowl ended.
I mean, yeah. See, that's what everyone says. Like, yeah, it is, but like the player made that mistake. Like, that is what it is.
I don't know. I think you let him play there.
I can't agree with that. So while we're pulling that up, so guys, Indy, I like Minshew this week. JT, as Carter found out, should be in your lineups.
Yep.
Josh Downs, Pittman, I like both of them in your lineup. Although facing a tough New Orleans D, but I think Minshew, we saw it last week against Cleveland's stout defense. Minshew has this thing rolling, so I like both of them. I think a lot of these skill players are startable. They shall be in your lineups. I'll ask you before we get into that, who are you going with? New Orleans or Indy?
Alright, bro.
We're watching right now, guys.
Like, are you serious?
Are they gonna show it close up?
Yes. Probably. I hope.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's super unfortunate that it came down to that.
Bro. You've got to be kidding me.
He grabs him. Bro, he grabs the jersey. What you mean?
I think he, like, barely turns him upfield. That doesn't even look like a jersey grab. Bro. Like, we're talking about the Super Bowl here.
I know.
And
I hate
They
it.
didn't have any timeouts
I hate
left.
it.
So that was literally
I know.
the play of the
I know.
game. Bro, I don't think that's... I think that's right on par with the Colts. Let me get Kareem back. I got him.
Tell him he's a sucker.
I'm not even playing him this week.
And you're New Orleans. You're not getting out of this, buddy.
I'll trade you Kareem Hunt and Mostert for Kyron.
All right, dirtbag. Answer the question.
Dude.
This is a hard one. Indy or New Orleans? Indy or New Orleans? Huh?
I don't know. Eating the paper over there.
This is very unprofessional, guys.
Indy or New Orleans? What are the records right now?
Both of them are 3-4.
I'm gonna go New Orleans. I want a big game from Olave.
I'm going to Indy.
So you said bet. Alright, let's do it. Send the trade over.
Philly's coming into Washington. Washington sucks. Philly's winning. You taking Philly? Go against Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we got that cleared up. Sit Brian Robinson. Sam Howell, he could be a solid stream. Philly's pass defense isn't very good, although we saw them lock up. Miami. Terry McLaurin. I'll play him. He's the only solid guy, the only guy that's worth a crap on this Redskins team. Jahan Dawson's trash. Curtis Samuel's mid. You can start Logan Thomas if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. Commanders defense, I dropped. You should drop them too. Start everyone with a PHI next to their name. I like them all. Because why not? That's my analysis for this one.
Okay.
Clearly,
I might
Bart
not
coincides.
I might not end up doing that. Kyron looks a little bit more injured than I initially believed.
Okay. So that was an easy one.
Yeah,
Everything I said, he agrees with.
I probably agree.
All right. So,
Except for the fact that Philly got screwed in the Super Bowl.
well, yeah. I mean, I would like to see them win because I'm, Jalen Hurts guy. Drafted him in the 6th round last year. My draft.
It's been nice.
Yeah.
Bro, they're so unstoppable on that tush push.
I'm just a draft guru, guys. You guys should listen to me.
You know what's funny
5-2.
about Philly being so good at 4th and 1s?
Huh.
I want to see like how many times they get 4th and 1. I swear, like
That's true.
bro, they always have 4th and 1 for some reason. Like no matter
Well,
where they
you gotta
are
think.
on 3rd down, they end up at 4th and 1.
You got to think because they can set themselves up for that because they're so good at converting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like most teams are gonna scheme up a play 4 or 5 yards if it's 3rd and 4, whereas Philly can scheme up a play for 5 yards, but they can take 3 because they know they can get the 4th and 1. If that makes sense. Yeah. So like they always know that they have 4 downs in play.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
So if there's like a little bit more off coverage, they just kind of take the quicker,
Right.
Don't run out as far.
They don't have to really it's very flexible.
I would like to see how many 4th and 1s though.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like it's literally like once every 2 or 3 drives they're using that
Facts.
play.
All right, so this is another interesting one actually. Cleveland going into Seattle. Both teams are 4-2. I don't know where you stand on this game because I don't know where I stand on this game. But Cleveland's defense did not look good last week. And Deshaun Watson is a bit of a mystery. Obviously, PJ Walker's in there. He's making some making some good throws, but then he looks like PJ Walker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Looks like an XFL quarterback. You know, no hate to PJ Walker. It just is what it is.
He just sucks. It just is what it is.
It's not what I was trying to say, guys. That's not what was coming off the tongue. Paraphrasing a little
It's
bit.
coming
there.
out of the heart.
Seattle's run defense is good. I don't really like any of these running backs, but I think Kareem Hunt is the guy if you're looking for any of them. Jerome Ford is. He's not on IR, is he?
Yeah. Or no.
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 Hold on.
Maybe. No.
So Ford returned to practice on Friday. He did suffer a high ankle sprain. It says right here he's expected to at least miss one game, but
Probably 3.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he returned to practice. So
That's true.
Kareem Hunt's practicing too. So
It's-
I like Hunt more than I think Hunt is just steadier. Like Ford had the 69-yard touchdown, and then he had 11 rushes for 76 yards, or whatever it was. So it's like he had 10 rushes for less than 10 yards, outside of the breakaway, and that's who we've described him as. Is this breakaway guy who will have a breakaway rush and then not do much else, and he's gonna get 2/3 of his fantasy points off of one run.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like Hunt more. I think he's also their red zone guy.
So, yeah, usually with the high ankle sprain, you miss 3 weeks, but there's also the cases where you only miss, like, 1.
Right.
So, it could be a case of either. Probably might only miss a little bit of time. But
So
Ford got hurt. It looks like Hunt will be playing and the starter this week.
I don't like. I gotta say I don't like Amari Cooper in this matchup, facing two beasts of corners in Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. Also, again with PJ Walker, like I know Amari did well 3 weeks ago. The week previous of their bye, he had 4 receptions for 80-something yards, or maybe it was like 100-something yards. I just don't see him having much success against the secondary or with PJ Walker. So I don't like any of this Cleveland offense this week except for Kareem Hunt. If I had to give you something, I don't like the defense either.
Why don't you think he can have success with P.J. Walker? Huh?
Because he's not a top half quarterback, and he's going against good corners. I'll give you the politically correct answer.
Nice. Can I have Hunt back? I didn't mean to drop
Someone's
it.
desperate.
I didn't mean to drop it.
Tell him.
I've used that before. I'm not even gonna lie, I've used that.
That's a week.
I said I didn't mean to drop it. It wasn't like NBA fantasy though. It was like some random dude. I think it was who's the okay, it doesn't really matter I guess for this purposes. But
Just know he's connived his way around a few things.
Yeah, you can have him back for Kyron. I'll just take the IR spot.
I'll just take Tony Pollard off your hands.
I will give you Hunt, I'll give you Hunt, Mostert, and Olave for Pollard. I don't really want Kyron right now.
All right. Another one we will be. What do you reply with, Carter? Anyways, Baltimore going into Arizona, guys. I'll be quick with this one. 2 bird teams flying opposite ways. I think that's safe to say. Arizona might be the absolute best 1-6 team that has ever graced the earth.
Yeah.
Baltimore's flying north. Arizona is flying south.
Quickly.
So Lamar clearly is a star here, guys.
Did I say it?
Hunt Mustard. And who?
I think it was Olave, right?
Yeah, Olave.
Yeah.
Oslave.
Olave.
Oslave.
So then I'd have Eckler, JT, and Pollard, and then Cup and I don't know, like Marquise Brown,
Tyler like it.
Tyler Lockett.
Okay, so Baltimore guys, Gus Edwards is a start. Zay Flowers is a start. I love me some Zay Flowers.
He said deal.
Mark Andrews is a start. Bro, give me Pollard. The heck, man? It's messed up. Alright. Everyone with the BAL next to their name is a start besides Justice Hill, I said earlier. Because I don't like Justice Hill. I like Gus Edwards. Anyways. Oh. Cleveland or Seattle?
I'm gonna go with
Greg Pruitt staring at you.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I kind of want to take Cleveland here.
Can I pencil him in?
Mm-hmm.
Dub. Nah, chill out. 'Cause
Take Seattle.
I went 4-9 last week. Yeah, I went 4-9 last week, guys. I gotta give them the update. I went 4-9 last week, guys. I look like an absolute bozo. Carter and I are now tied on the season, so big props to Carter. He's made a heck of a comeback. I am deteriorating. Arizona guys, nothing. Squat. I got squat for you here. I will say Zach Ertz is on the IR. If you were absolutely in dire straits for a tight end, which I know many of us are, besides a guy like myself who has drafted Sam Laporta, I might say. Trey McBride, guys, second round pick, last year's draft. Take a shot. I think we're going both. You ain't. Nah, I'm not even gonna ask you. Next game. Kansas City and Denver, one that seems to always be super tight, regardless of how good one team is and how bad the other is.
Didn't they play like 2 weeks ago?
Yes, they did. I almost put Pacheco as my lock. I really like Pacheco this week. Obviously, he didn't do that great against Denver last
I'll
time.
be right back. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
Carter is going to. You can't blame the guy. He's going to fill up his H2O.
Luke, lob over that trade if you want to send it.
Send it. Hashtag send it. No, what is it? Nelk Boys? Is that what they're called?
Oh yeah, full send.
Yeah, I don't care about them. I'm just saying send it. All right, guys. It's on my back. I'm on my own. The Chiefs, Patty Mahomes. The offense did not have a good week against Denver last time. They only put up 18 points. Travis Kelce had a monster week, though. I think he's going to continue to do it. He's looked really good coming off that ankle scare against the Vikings a few weeks ago. I like all the Chiefs players, their main guys, Mahomes, Pacheco, Kelce. I like Rashee Rice to continue what he's doing. May have to temper expectations, but Denver's defense has been exploitable. We saw him with 4 for 72 last time they played. I think he improves upon that. I think he gives you a minimum of 12 points this week. So I like Rashee Rice in your lineup. Personally, I have to sit him, unfortunately, as good as he's been. But I like Kansas City. I like their defense. Obviously, their kicker, don't really talk about kickers here, but their kicker is a good one here. Denver, so Javonte Williams, guys, he is a guy that I like. His usage was really good last week. McLaughlin has a specific role in this offense in terms of a spell running back, but primarily being utilized as a receiver out of the backfield. Now, Javonte has seen his share of targets out of the backfield, specifically last week. He is yet to find the end zone this year. I do think that comes. So if you're a Javonte owner, maybe not this week against a very stout Chiefs run defense. I do think Javonte should be in your lineups moving forward. I believe he has a very favorable schedule. Do not quote me on that. Allow me a few seconds here. Javonte. Yeah, so he has a pretty favorable schedule. He only, after this Kansas City, who is 5th best against the running back position, then he has his bye. Week 11, they play Minnesota, who's number 6. Detroit, number 3. Week 15, the rest of those games are against bottom half teams, except for Cleveland, who is number 11 in Week 12. So Javonte Williams, guys, personally to me, he is a buy low candidate. I'm kind of looking to get him. I don't know what the compensation will look like. I think if you're a guy that has 4 receivers like myself, and the Javonte Williams owner is good at running backs but needs a receiver, if you can trade a wide receiver 3-ish type of guy, maybe Rashee Rice, Cortland Sutton, something like that for Javonte, maybe Drake London. I think Drake London is definitely more valuable than just getting Javonte Williams back, but if that can give you an idea of what to go trade for Javonte Williams, I like him moving forward. So done with that spiel. I will say, I'll give you guys a tip. Cortland Sutton is on my bench this week yet again, as he has been the entire season, and he's been doing well the entire season. So I will tell you, as long as he's on my bench, which I will inform you every week, go ahead and play him because he's done well. He has 5 touchdowns. He's wide receiver 20 on the season. He's Russ's favorite target, clearly. So Cortland Sutton should be in your lineup. He's been producing. So I don't know if he's a great play against Kansas City, but why not? There's not much else hope in this Denver offense.
Yeah.
We both going with KC?
Easily.
Okay. Final 425 game of the week. We got Cincy and San Fran.
I'm going to go San Fran here. Oh, wait, actually.
Ooh.
Hold on. I just wasn't thinking.
A little ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Dang,
Little
jumping the
bit.
gun. All right, let me analyze a little bit, buddy. Jeez.
Let me check this out.
Jeez, man.
Bro, next week I might be going to the Bills, Cincinnati. Sunday night. Yeah, my dad texted me, bro. I'm super
That's
hyped.
super hype.
Like, that is a powerhouse matchup right there,
That's
bro.
super hype.
Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow, head to head, bro.
Is it in Cincy?
Yeah.
Oh, in the jungle?
Sunday night. Yeah.
Let's
Bro,
go.
the jungle's electric.
That's sick.
I like the
You.
jungle.
How many games have you been to in there?
I think I
2 or
went
3?
to the game where
Didn't you go to a Steelers game?
Denver.
Denver?
So it was Bengals versus Denver, and it was when to get into the playoffs. And they had like a big pick six. It was pretty electric.
Sick.
And then I went to the Chargers game. Remember when I was taking the pics of Derwin James on the
Yeah.
flip phone?
Yeah, that was weak.
Bro, that could be electric. But let me see how okay, so they scraped it out against the Seahawks.
Which is a solid win.
Destroyed the Cardinals. Got blown
destroyed
out by the
They're still a
Titans.
weird team. I'm not looking into their
Scraped
past.
it by to the Rams. Yeah, I still don't feel like we've seen the Bengals in full force.
Jeez, dude, look at their next 4 weeks. Look at their next 6 weeks.
49ers, Bills, Texans, Ravens, Steelers, Jaguars.
Colts and Vikings aren't slouches either. And then you got the Steelers,
Steelers,
Chiefs, Browns. Holy cow, they might not win another. No, I'm just kidding.
They might not make it out, dude.
Yo, that's
They
insane.
might not make it to the playoffs.
That's a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, that next 6 weeks.
Trade away Joe Mixon.
Niners, Bills, Texans, Ravens, Steelers, Jags. That's a good question.
I think
You should trade for most.
you should trade. Mostert is a trade for target. No, I mean,
That's it. I think we do need to address that at this point.
Yeah,
Because
we
Achane
do.
is close to coming back.
is he?
He can't be far off. It's been, what, 3 weeks now that he's been out?
I think. I mean, it just depends because they can all be very good. I think.
I mean, yeah, but there's only so much volume. Like, at some point, the volume ends. It's not like it's just infinite.
well, you think that Ahmed will probably get phased out. Salvin Ahmed. So let's see what they're saying. Chan's still in running back 9. That's so wild, bro. 51 points. Let's see what they're saying. Expected to miss the minimum 4 games and will likely be active week 11. So,
We're going into week 8. So he has, including this week, he has 3 more games out.
I think that bodes really well for most of these next 3 games.
Yeah. So
Jeff Wilson is now back.
I think Mostert is the one guy that I think is going to be steady in this backfield.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, Jeff Wilson's on the scene. I just, like, no one's going to phase out Mostert,
Right.
if that makes sense.
His-
Because he's
his-
proved week in and week out he can be, he is the guy.
Yeah. His role is solidified.
Like, I think Achane, I don't think he's ever going to get a majority workload. I just think he's so efficient. And also, I think he'll be the primary pass catcher out of that backfield, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think Mostert's going to be the primary runner. Achane, spell guy, third down, pass catching type of guy.
That's interesting, too, because Mostert does get a lot of passing work.
He does.
And they actually play him a lot out wide.
Yeah, but I think he's also just their star runner.
Yeah.
Or, like, even though, like, I know on surface level you can really pick out what I'm saying and say it doesn't make sense because Achane is also their start runner because of his efficiency and stuff. But like who they want ground and pound, that's Mostert. Achane's not built for that.
Right.
Achane's what 5'10", 190 pounds.
And he's already seen an injury preseason.
Yeah, he's not built for that. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean we've seen Mostert get injured. Don't get me wrong. Like, but at the end of the day, Mostert's that ground and pound guy that they want to give the ball. I don't think.
Achane started against Giants.
I'm reading it like him saying it to me, like him talking.
And Gordon.
But
Are you Buck right now, Gordon?
chill out. I mean that's my views.
Yeah. Does your dad watch this podcast?
Yeah,
Oh. Hey, Mr. Gordon.
it's not actually my dad. It's Luke.
Well, if he watches.
Well, maybe. All right. So sticking with the Cincy San Fran game, let's do a little analysis here. I don't like Joe Mixon. I will say I like Burrow. I think this pass defense for San Fran has been a little exploitable as of recent. So I'm sitting Ayuk, and I'm in a dilemma.
I had an instinct.
It's just something we kind of know. So Debo's out, so I feel like I have to start Ayuk, but like I can't sit Puka. I feel like Nico's gonna have a great game. He's kind of due, and then Drake London plays Tennessee. But like, how do I sit Ayuk? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm in a bit of a dilemma. But we'll get back to that. So Ayuk is a start.
Process. I mean, if Purdy's not playing,
Yeah.
I think you can be confident not playing Ayuk.
So Ayuk's a start, guys. For Cincy, both of those receivers are a start. Was Higgins wasn't your sleeper, was he? No, but he's a guy you mentioned. I think both those guys are on track this week, chasing Higgins. So yeah, I mean I like the stars of this game. I like Kittle this week too. He seems to be more and more of a focal point, I guess. He's just really up and down, and he was up last week, so I kind of want to lean towards him being down, but I'm not totally. It's hard to be like out on him entirely, especially with Debo out right now. So I like those guys. I like everyone in this game except for Mixon, really.
It's hard to ever be out on a guy that has potential to be. A
Yeah,
top
it's
tight
just
end.
tight end position. Yeah. Where do you lean? That's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's in the San Fran.
So I mean, if Purdy's out, I think I don't have a problem picking the Bengals here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cincy gets a win here, and if they can go on a streak, I think they can, like, so we think of Cincinnati as a Super Bowl contender. I think they can streak through like 5 of these next 6 games. Like, I think they beat Houston. I just picked them against the 49ers. I think they beat the Steelers. So then it's Ravens and Bengals. Or Ravens and Bills. They lose one of those.
You think they win 5 of 6?
Yeah, that's my bold prediction.
Holy cow! Nah.
Because
I
dude,
mean-
just the way I like look at them as a team and as like a culture at this point. T. Higgins healthy. Joe Burrow, I don't think the hamstring's really a thing anymore.
All I'm gonna say, my friend, you got some nuts.
That's my bold prediction.
I mean, I'd like to see it. I like Cincy. They play with grit, bro. Like they really do.
If we're picking them against the 49ers, that's really only saying 4 of the next 5.
Yeah.
And are they going to get swept in the division by
Have they won a
the
divisional
Steelers?
game?
No.
Yikes.
The Ravens beat them. The Browns beat them. I guess they haven't played the Steelers, but
Right.
that's at Cincy.
Yeah.
So
So they
three,
still have-
3 of these games
yeah.
are at Cincy. 3 of the next 6.
Right. So 3-3 home and away,
Yeah.
and then they have both the Colts and the Vikings at home, so that's favorable.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Cincy too. I just have a feeling it's just hard to predict San Fran losing 3 straight.
Right.
That's really tough to see. But if Purdy's out, then I'd certainly see it. So moving to your team Sunday night, Carter. You have the Bears coming into LA. I'm going with LA. I'm gonna
I'll
say
go
that
with
up
LA
front.
too.
This is a crappy Bears team.
Although, what I truly want is for us to lose.
What?
So there's talks right now. in the
Oh,
locker
you want
room.
Staley out?
I want Staley out, and just the buzz around the Chargers right now is if we lose this game, there's a good chance he's out.
Okay.
I think he's losing the. I think he's lost the locker room. He's properly
They're 2 and
lost the
4,
locker
bro.
room. He's lost the fans.
Y'all are supposed to be 4-2, not 2-4.
At least. I
Yeah.
think every single one of the games we played, I mean, a respectable loss to Dallas. I think
Respectable loss to Miami.
a respectable
And
loss,
KC.
but we should have beaten
Y'all should have
Miami.
beat Miami. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, KC, that was a respectable loss. I don't think we ever expected to beat them.
Right. So, Chicago, the only guy. Well, okay. I'll leave it at this: Foreman and DJ. That's it. That's all I'm interested in.
Roshan is back.
I don't care about Roshan.
Okay.
I just don't. Not coming his first week off of injury and Foreman doing what he. There's no way they see Foreman go for over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just give this other guy the ball. Like I think Roshan will be the superior back by the end of the year, but Foreman is a guy you and I have rave about, for the last 2 seasons now.
Mm-hmm. Every time he gets the opportunity.
Every time, bro. Like I don't get how he's not.
Somehow he
like,
got phased out of Carolina again.
I don't get it. Like,
It's the
and I
story of
say
his
this.
life.
I've said this like every every year. I feel like is how does a contending team, like, bro, he got signed 1 year for $1 million, 1 year for 2-3 mil, something like that. A really low 1 year contract.
Yeah.
How does a contending team not see him and go, I want you on my team?
Yeah.
Think if him and Eckler were in the backfield together. Like, that'd be disgusting.
Well, we're not a contending
Well,
team.
okay, yeah, but if you had Deontay Foreman, you would be.
Yeah.
No, but
I
like,
agree.
you get what I'm saying. I mean, like, bro, like, I don't know, a team like if you're Minnesota, or not that Minnesota's a contending team, but like coming into the season, like Minnesota was a team that I didn't think they were going to be good, but like you got questions at running back, go sign Deontay Foreman. Like I don't.
Ravens.
Yeah, bro, he's like Gus Edwards on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be insane at the Ravens.
I really don't get it. Or like I would like to see a team that already has like imagine him on the Niners.
Well, they have CMC.
I know.
He
But,
plays
like,
every play.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if they had a split backfield with him and CMC, like, that'd be insane. That'd just be so nasty.
That'd be OD. I think he'd look good in the Ravens uniform.
He would. That'd be sick.
No homo. But like,
He'd look good.
he'd look amazing.
Who, like, I don't know. I just want to fantasize right now.
No fan art, please.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Or like Dallas, like him and Tony Pollard together, insane.
Yeah.
Like that would look really good. Like I can just see it right now. I'm just envisioning it in my mind. It would look really good.
Yeah, I think Pollard needs to be a RB2 again. I
He's
wouldn't
better
mind-
suited as that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on from this game.
All right, Chargers guys, you're starting Herbert, you're starting Eichler, you're starting Allen. Josh Palmer's a start. That's about it. Maybe the Chargers defense, if you're looking for a sneaky play.
QJ sneaky
Definitely
as
a
well.
favorable play.
QJ was my sleeper.
Not sure I'm looking at Quentin Johnston on my team and going, hell yeah, baby. This is the week. I don't know about that. But
I think he's a sleeper if you need him.
I feel you highlighting him as a sleeper. I understand. It's just yeah, baby, I got Quentin Johnston.
You're not gonna be hyped to do it.
But if you have to,
If you have to, yeah, I don't mind it.
for one reason or another, ladies and gentlemen, if Quentin Johnston's on your team, you might want to think about putting him in your life.
If Quentin Johnson doesn't get 10 fantasy points this week, Staley gets fired.
Correlation is not causation, but I do see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
All right, wrapping this baby up. We got the Raiders coming into Detroit.
Is Jimmy G back this week?
I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care.
Practicing?
It's
Let's
weak.
go.
It says like his back, but like
Yeah.
he's back practicing.
Nice. Nice. Well done, fantasy
Are
pros.
you predicting Jimmy G to pull out a W?
Okay, I said
Because
that
all he
last-
does is win.
He does. He's a winner. Ain't nobody starting Fuentes. In a crunch, bro. You don't know. There's teams-
Crunch, baby.
There's teams out there.
All right.
I'm gonna go Detroit.
You're starting Jimmy G. No, do not start Jimmy G. Please. We said this coming into the offseason. I remember this clip very vividly. If you're ever thinking of starting Jimmy G, first and foremost, seek help. Secondly,
Call line.
come to one of us. Please. Do not start Jimmy G. Start anyone besides Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Even Russell Wilson. Even Tyler Badgett.
Whoa.
Yes, Jimmy G is hot buns. I will say start Jacoby Myers and start Devontae. Jacoby Myers will start. We've already been over this.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs is benchable in my opinion. Call me bold. Call me whatever you want.
That's pretty bold, but
I'm not saying it this
got better
week.
options.
Detroit is pissed off. I know Dan Campbell has those boys right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. In Detroit, yeah. He must give those fans something to cheer about, baby.
Nice.
Lions. Jared Goff is in your lineup. And the one, the only, Jameer Gibbs, baby.
Yeah, he's
Let's
back.
clap it up. Let's clap it up. Huh? Yeah. Very good, Jameer. Very good.
Well done.
That's what we've all been waiting for. Garbage time touchdown, baby. I'll take it. All I'm going to say is David Montgomery ain't practicing and Jameer Gibbs is, baby. I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I got Alvin Kamara. I got Jameer Gibbs. And last time I checked, I'm playing PPR, baby.
Nice.
Nice.
Kamara is a hindrance
A hindrance to your...
to everything.
A hindrance to...
To my sanity.
the progression of fantasy football.
Yeah.
Kamara owners for the win, baby. Round 7 has never done me so right in my life. Besides, well, Drake London was my round 7 pick, so I'd say that's quite a bit upgraded from last year. Anyways, guys, not to get too off track here, just fantasizing about Jameer Gibbs and Alvin Kamara. Nothing new from me. You know who I am. You know what to expect
Give
around
me
here.
a TD lock.
All right, Lampkin, hold on a second here. We're
CJ
almost
Stroud.
done. Not quarterbacks, you moron.
I think he's gonna rush for one.
Whatever.
I don't think he has yet.
All right, Amon Ra, Sam Laporta, Jamarius Gibbs, and Jared Goff. You're starting all of them. Detroit defense, as Carter said, you're starting them too. Let's get into our touchdown locks of the week, shall we?
Because why'd you phrase it like that? All right,
What,
touchdown lock of the week, I guess. All right, who you got?
Dude, you know how
got
much sugar is on our system right now?
an absurd amount. I'm gonna go Austin Eckler.
I'm going
against the Bears.
Pacheco's. Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay, so Pacheco and Austin Eckler.
Name one, I'll name one.
So, all right, let's do 3 each. Austin Eckler.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, how'd that work for you last week?
No, I take away Cooper Kupp. DeAndre Swift.
Mark Andrews.
Okay. So I have Eckler and DeAndre Swift.
I have Pacheco
Pacheco
and Mark Andrews. One more, baby. Give it to them. They're waiting.
I kind of like JT, but I'm not going to go with JT. Is that who you were gonna?
That can be us together. That's our ultimate touchdown lock.
No. Derrick Henry, King Henry.
Oh, brother. Miss me with that.
What? That's
You've
what I said.
lost all of your credentials on speaking on Derrick. You proclaimed that like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, you're right.
I don't want you to, I'm trying to save you from making yourself look like an idiot.
Okay. Thank you.
We have a podcast.
Thank you. Okay, I forgot. There's a segment of fantasy I can't talk about. All right, let me. So.
Anything?
Oh, CMC.
There we go.
You did say that earlier. All right, guys. My third and final touchdown lock of the week. I'm looking at myself. That's funny.
Check a lock this week.
I'm gonna go on a limb here, man. A real limb. I'm saying Drake London, baby.
Drake London touchdown lock. Okay, so if you're.
Drake London is going nuclear this week.
I wonder what the odds on this is. So we each pick
Go
the
to your
touchdown lock.
freaking FanDuel.
I don't know if I have my account here.
You don't have to log in. You can still make the parlay.
Oh, you can.
Here, I'll make mine and you make yours.
No. I was gonna combine them.
Yeah. Enough of that.
That's the whole point of this.
Here, I'll do mine. You combine us.
Okay.
We'll go from there.
Did I say DeAndre Swift?
Yes,
right?
you did. Guys, we don't encourage betting. I don't, at least. But
I don't anymore. I used to.
I forget who I picked. I picked
Yeah, just let me do
Pacheco.
it.
I picked Mark Andrews. What do you call me, an idiot?
Yes.
Mark Andrews plus 155. I like that.
CMC minus 220.
Shoot, dude, who's my third guy? I went on a limb. Of course I did.
Drake London.
Wait, am I tweaking? Or is that game not up there?
It said Drake London.
Am I tweaking? Yeah, that game's definitely not up there.
The Falcons one?
What the
Okay,
heck?
so you gotta pick a different. You don't want to pick Drake London.
Yeah, I do.
As
I'm
your
starting
lock?
him. I'm starting him in my league.
Okay, but as your touchdown lock? Okay.
Nico's plus 200. That makes me... Yeah. Fill in the blank, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me see.
Why is Randall Cobb the fourth most likely player to score a touchdown? What? These
Is
guys are
he?
idiots. They're ripping you off.
Randall Cobb?
Like, Randall Cobb?
That's
What's
so
wrong with
random.
these guys?
Oh, I kind of like Mostert too.
Show me Kenny Walker. Yep.
Oh, against the Browns, bro. I was just peeping that.
He's plus 120. All right, guys. So I got Pacheco, Andrews, and Kenneth Walker for touchdowns. Parlay that on FanDuel, 10 for $84. I like it.
All right, guys. If you're a real betsman, you know that you should just waste your money swinging for the fences.
Are you looking for mine?
Yeah.
Pacheco,
Yeah, I got Pacheco.
Mark Andrews, the Mandrews, and then Kenny.
Andrews the Mandrews. Kendrell Walker.
Kendrelius Walker. Yeah, why do they not have the Tennessee Atlanta game?
So if you're to
Oh, what? There it is.
10 for 385, if you were to put all those.
Okay, if I take out Kenneth Walker and put in Drake London, it's 10 for 119.
Okay, so let me put Drake London into this.
Yeah, take out Kenneth Walker. I'm gonna stick with my original. I like Drake London this week. I don't know why it wasn't showing up.
10 for 529.
Whew.
DeAndre Swift, Christian
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Pacheco, Andrew. Dang, this makes me want to place a bet, but I'm not going to.
Good.
But it makes me want to.
Do not gamble, kids. Peep the chat real quick. See if we got anything else.
Side eye.
Side eye.
The two best fantasy minds. What's up, Carter and Max? Happy Sabbath.
Late.
Bro.
Wait. What's the
up?
what's the saying? Late, but isn't there a saying?
Better late than never.
There it is.
Yeah.
Side eye. Welcome, bro. you and my brother have been the only viewers tonight, so appreciate you. If you got any questions, bro, we literally just finished kind of talking about every game, sleepers, bust, locks, the Thursday night wrap up. If you got any questions for us this week in your lineup, bro, you already know. Let us know. We'll stick around for a few minutes, kind of blibber blabber about our thoughts on some other things. Any type of stats. I want to see where everyone's at in terms of. Okay, I don't like. Happy Sabbath to you too, Sada. Praise the Lord, still alive. Let's see. See your rankings if anyone sticks out to us. Any buy lows type of guys, buy sell high.
Said I'll place it.
I'm sorry I'm late, fellas. I literally just woke up. I was tired. Hey, bro. I took a nice nap yesterday.
It's been a long week.
I do not blame you, bro.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Don't feel bad. Bro, Zach Moss is still... Yo, Kyron Williams is still running back 4. Running back is really crazy.
It is.
Like, McCaffrey's head and shoulders above everyone, but even Mostert and Etienne are 20, almost 30 points ahead of Kyron Williams at running back 4. Which is insane.
Dude, there's just been so many injuries.
Like, even Bijan hasn't been nearly as good as we expected.
Saquon.
Like, Bijan the last 3 weeks has been brutal. Obviously, the .3 really hurts, but...
Yeah. Are you changing up on Bijan?
Nah, he's straight, bro.
I'm in a trade, bro. DK and Tyler Spears for Evan Ingram and Jacoby Myers. Well done. Jeez, bro. You are destroying these trades.
I don't mind that, yeah.
Didn't he just get cut? Or is that someone else?
It might have been.
I think that was someone else.
Because he had to trade away... It might have been because he traded away Laporta. Remember? It was last week with Laporta.
Okay, so I think it was.
So he just replaced Laporta with Ingram. I also snagged the Jets D. Nice. Yeah, bro. You know what you're doing. You already know, side-eye. We see level-headed. Like, bro, Tony Pollard is running back.
DK and Tajay for... Bro, I feel like Jacoby Myers is better than DK.
10-team.
Okay.
Okay, so he's 2-5. He won last week. So he's got Lamar, Saquon, Kenneth Walker, Kupp, Zay Flowers, Ingram, Jacoby Myers, Pickens, D-Law, or T-Law, sorry, Josh Palmer, Roshan Tinkdale, Javonte Williams. Side-eye, you missed my segment earlier. I had an entire segment on Javonte. Keep him. I like him. His schedule's really good after their bye week in week 9 or 10. I forget which one it is. I believe it's week 9 after this Chiefs matchup. He has 2 more tough matchups against Minnesota, Cleveland, I want to say, but keep Javonte. I think he's going to be great when you need him. One of your guys are on a bye. Although I think Saquon already has a bye. I could be totally wrong on that. But glad you picked up the dub. I know you were 1-5, but your team's looking real good. Especially, I know Kupp had the down week last week, but you still got the dub, so that's really good, bro.
Yeah. Well done. Good team. Lamar,
Solid
Saquon,
team.
Kenneth Walker, Kupp, Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers.
Evan Ingram. With Pickens, Trevor Lawrence, Palmer, Javonte. Yeah.
Ravens, Jets defense to toss back and forth.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats, bro.
Big things. You were successful in depleting your breadth and funneling it into
Yes.
top talent. So
All I gotta say is Kamara is the number 3 running back over the last 4 weeks, so since he has played. That's all I gotta say. He has 35 receptions. Yo, that is nuts.
Ridiculous.
That is nuts.
Doesn't make any sense.
Where is he in terms of rushing yards? So he's
not.
he's 7th in terms of rushing yards. He's doing this with 1 touchdown. He's 14 receptions ahead of the next closest person, and he's 1st in receiving yardage also, which is to be expected.
I needed a tight end bad, and I also didn't think Derrick Henry will be traded. That's why I traded Spears.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily like giving away Spears, but I also think getting a guy like Evan Ingram at tight end, who is the most consistent tight end in the league right now, I think that's great to shore up your team. That's guaranteed points at the worst position in fantasy football. When you already have Saquon, Kenneth Walker, and who I think is a great backup in Javonte Williams. So
Yeah.
I think you're straight. And you got Josh Palmer off the waivers.
Roshan too, just in case.
Yeah, Roshan. And then George Pickens is a great boomer bust type of guy, even though he has shown some life of consistency.
Yeah.
And then you got a good quarter. Like, bro, your team's solid. You're straight, man. I like what you're building. Coming off the dub this past week, man, I know that's really good for you. For as impressive as your team has been, it's been unfortunate, your record obviously, but hopefully you can build and find your way into the playoffs. Because you aren't so side-eye. Let me know how many teams make it into your playoffs. I would assume it's 6, being in a 10 team.
Probably 6 or 4. Dude, I also like half PPR, dude.
I think that PPR is
I do
way
think we
too
should do half
inflated.
PPR.
Half PPR, I think, is a good medium between. Okay, obviously, but I think it's a good medium between full PPR and no PPR.
when you have PPR and standard, I think good middle ground would be half PPR.
Yeah, that's basically what I just said, but like it truly is because
Nah,
we
I
have
feel
some PPR homers in our league, and I'm clearly every single year a standard homer. I think it's just much more logical, in my view, to have. Dude, if you get a reception for like -6 yards and gain points on that, like that doesn't make any sense to me. So, there's that.
Rashad White second. Yo. No way. DeAndre Swift is 3rd in receptions for running backs.
Who? Swift?
Yeah.
He's a beast.
So I think we can kind of buck the
Camera's out.
Oh, how long has it been out?
Seaside Eye. This is why we need you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing this. Because it keeps the blue light on. I assume you can still hear us.
Yeah.
It must have just happened, though, because they just let us know.
Hopefully. Okay, we're back.
Boom.
He was just eating way too much candy. I didn't want you guys to see that.
Gluttony. No, but I think, guys, a big thing is DeAndre Swift is 3rd in receptions at running backs. Just looking at some stats, the trend going into the season was that Jalen Hurts doesn't dump off, or Philly, the scheme, whatever. 3rd in receptions for running backs, so that's big for him, as well as Josh Jacobs being 4th in receptions. So what's your opinion on Jahmyr Gibbs year long? I'm intrigued because I'm a Gibbs owner. Presuming Monty comes back,
Right.
obviously he's not going to play this week, but the following week.
Oh, man. It wasn't out too long. Okay, good. Jahmyr Gibbs. I would place him kind of like probably like RB 20-ish, somewhere in that range. Because Monty is going to be a top 12 running back when he's playing, just because of the volume he gets, how efficient they are in the red zone, the way they run that offense. So yeah, Jahmyr's gonna be explosive. He's gonna have great change of pace plays. He's gonna get a lot of receptions, I think. Although we did see they do like Montgomery in 3rd downs as well, so that's why I think Jahmyr Gibbs' ceiling is limited to the RB2.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his floor is still somewhat safe. Like, at worst, I would see him as, like, running back 30-ish. But, I mean, like, absolute worst case scenario.
So, I saw this. Someone said this. With Monty being hurt twice already, do you think Detroit could look at that and say, okay, we're going to scale back Monty a little bit, use him in his super defined role? Like, Gibbs is still 9th in receptions in running backs for the lack of volume that he's, gotten thus far. So do you think, like, in my opinion, I think Montgomery's workload is going to be super streamlined, and they're going to, like, I think Gibbs is going to continue to grow. I agree Montgomery is the lead rusher in that backfield. I just think, like, I don't know if my bias is seeping in. I think Gibbs's rest of season from today forward, I see him as like 15. I see him as a high end RB2.
Okay.
I think, like, I still think Monty's gonna get the touchdowns, 15 carries a game. I just think his third down usage is something that's gonna come down, as well as the slight receiving work we were seeing.
Okay.
I still think he's gonna be effective.
So if that's the case, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, that's just one outlook though. So.
Right. If that's the case, if they do scale down Monty, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs shoots up. I haven't really like looked much at like when he's playing, like how he's doing in pass protection. If like Monty's significantly better, because that does mean a lot.
That gets you on the field.
Third down.
Yeah. That's why
basically why McKinnon still plays.
Right.
Dude, he's insane.
That's why Kamara plays such a high snaps.
Yeah.
Because he's great in pass protection, which is big for running backs, as you're saying. Which is why McKinnon still gets a lot of snaps.
Dude,
he's a beast.
Mack.
He's a beast in pass pro,
bro. He just went down and took out Khalil Mack's legs. I was like, bro, why are we paying this dude so much money to get decked by McKinnon?
By a 5'10", 200-pound running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What's big in the receiver area? Obviously, Adam Thielen's been huge. What's your opinion on Mike? I mean, Mike Evans was a guy you and I were doubting.
I think if Monty's back, I like Gibbs as a safe floor in this flex spot. I wouldn't feel bad about him at RB2. Yeah.
I mean, I think we can both agree that's kind of how we view him.
Right.
Like, specific to my team, he is my RB2 just because Nick Chubb got hurt. He would be my RB3. But injuries are injuries. You got to live with it. So he's my RB2, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm excited. I do have to temper expectations when Monty comes back, but I think he's a safe play.
I was talking about this too when Monty was playing and he just had that 30-point game. Gibbs didn't seem to have a great game. People were very worried about Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
His utilization, because he's still a rookie running back, is still very elite over the past, like, I forget what the statistic was, but generally the main gist of what I got out of, this, I think I was listening to someone, but basically the main gist was over the past, 10 years, his utilization was still, in the top 10% for rookie running backs.
Like, per snap basis type of thing.
So, he's doing exactly what you'd want, even when Monty was doing great. And,
just at a low
just
scale.
You would think to, yeah. But remember,
you'd think that would increase.
I think it will produce much better.
Right.
But the utilization's there, so I don't think you have to worry too much, even if Monty is playing well. So yeah, I mean, RB2, that's completely fine.
Okay.
Completely fine. Remember his slip too, week 1? I wonder how his.
No, I remember it.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you.
Oh my god, bro! I don't think I've ever jumped off of a couch so fast in my life, bro.
That was crazy.
Oh my gosh, when he made that cut, bro, I was like, yo.
He was wide open.
That is because it was supposed to be kind of up in the middle, off the guard type of thing. He just, oh my gosh, bro! I was like, yo, he's gone, and then it slipped. I was like, no way.
Yo, Sada, I'd like to know what you think about this San Francisco 49ers Cincinnati Bengals game.
I'd like to know. I think that's a good game.
Who you got? We both picked the Bengals.
What's your opinion on Devontae Smith? That's someone I want to ask, because that's someone you were higher on than I was. I leaned AJ Brown. You leaned Devontae.
Mm-hmm. Clearly, you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard to count him out, and you'd like to think after 3 really down games, especially going against a Washington defense this week that's really poor, and that was his last relevant game. He had 78 yards. I do have a pretty tough schedule, but Philly's offense is pretty good. So what's your outlook on him season long, or what would you do owning, and if you're looking for him, what's your opinion?
Hitting me with these tough
everything.
ones.
I want to know every idea you
The
have.
thing is,
about
I don't
Devontae.
own him in any of my leagues.
I mean, yeah, but like if
But
you were a
so
Devontae
if I was
owner,
a Devontae owner, I would try to get rid of him. No. As a Devontae owner, I would keep him. And as someone that's going off after him, I would try to get him low. So I think he's a buy low, but he's not a sell low. Which you don't
think
really
he has to
label people as-
rebound. You know?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, the streak that AJ Brown's on right now, 125 games,
Has to
and
come to an end, right?
it has to come to an end, and it's actually historic. Like, I think it's gonna be the
Yeah,
most
if he does it.
in history.
So Side-Eye says, I'm also picking the Bengals. So, yeah, both of us picked the Bengals. I think the 49ers are catching a Bengals team who should begin start clicking at the right time. I feel like the Bengals will remind everyone who they are. Side-Eye, us three are rowing down a river in the same canoe. We are in unison flowing down this river.
Yeah.
Same. We literally said the same. I forget when you joined us, but we literally said the same exact things.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, it's if Darnold plays, I'm a lot more sure about it. But even if Purdy plays, you know, I'm riding with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm riding Bengals.
Side-Eye. Okay, hold on. I want to see. I need Side-Eye's help. If you don't mind typing this in. Collins. Puka.
We're asking questions.
I'm asking Side-Eye. I'm asking Side-Eye. I want to know.
All right, now we're asking. The
Collins,
questions.
Puka, Ayuk, in London. Pick 3. I gotta see where because Side-Eye and I seem to go eye to eye on things. We see eye to eye. I gotta know what he thinks. I have to know.
You want to know if it's like the same?
Yeah. I have to know. That's from something. What's that from? I have to know. Is that from something? Am I just like making things up?
No, I'm like, it's like, it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's like back there somewhere.
I have to know.
I have to know.
Look what I looked at. Okay. I gots to know? It's not from that show.
Alright, so
Let us know.
yeah, let's.
I mean, he's probably in the same problem I am. I don't know who to pick, dude.
Collins, Puka, and
Can't trust
Ayuk.
anyone with Falcons, even with this. So I got London over Ayuk right now, even though Debo's out. And I got Rashee Rice and Cortland Sutton on my bench. Sigh.
Might as well bench London.
This moron.
I'm with both of you guys personally.
London's been so viable, though.
Yes.
But how do I bench Ayuk with Debo out? That just is wrong. Alright? And Nico's bound, and it's Puka. You can't bench Puka.
You cannot bench Puka.
If Drake London sits, he's going to do well. If I start him, he's going to bust.
Seems like a tough conundrum you got there.
I'm playing West, so I'm probably going to lose. West has a damn good team, bro.
I know, what the
I
heck?
hate it. It makes my blood boil.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I wish he started Latavius Murray. This man has Latavius Murray and Damian Harris.
Falcons have no idea what they're doing on a week-to-week basis.
I don't disagree.
Arthur Smith is just going.
I think they're kind of clueless.
They just figure out what's working on that day.
Dude, West team is so good.
It's not that good, but it is.
Bro, you have CMC and Josh Allen, Pacheco and Christian Kirk, T. Higgins, George Kittle, and Jacoby Myers. Like, don't look at his bench. His bench is awful. Don't get me wrong. The man drafted Jamal Williams in the 4th round.
Bro, like he had like Jacoby Myers. What the heck? What a steal.
You see my message in our chat?
Pacheco, I think he got from us, bro. Because no way he would have drafted Pacheco.
Bastard.
He drafted Jamal Williams.
4th round.
Yeah, Josh Allen has been,
Nuts.
yeah, he's been really good. What's his record? 4-3? I mean, Kamara's only projected 17 points. You know he's going to go for like 50.
Jameer is only protected for 10.
Do you look at projections?
No. I couldn't care less about projections.
Dude, I stay getting like caught up looking at projections.
Projections don't matter.
It messes with me so hard.
I don't care about projections. I really don't.
Bench London like said that thing. Yeah, I agree with that.
I know I'm supposed to do the analyzing. But when it comes to something like this, it's tough. When Drake London goes against the most exploitable receiver matchup, it's hard to keep him on my bench. But when you got 5 great receivers, what do?
Trade for Marquise Brown.
No one wants Marquise Brown, bro.
He's not bad. Kyler's coming back. Once Kyler comes back, bro,
I would have a stack.
you would have a stack.
I'm not doing it for the stack, baby.
I have a stack of Cooper Kupp and Stafford, but Stafford just doesn't seem to want to throw touchdowns.
I have a stack of Kamara and Derek Carr. That counts for something, right?
Guys, who should I start in the flex? Myers, Pickens, or Palmer?
It's hard not to roll with Myers, dude. He's hot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of. I like Palmer just because he's facing a really soft Chicago defense and he's been really good. Pickens is growing on me though. I have to say, like, wow, Jacoby Myers is wide receiver 12.
Yeah, dude, he's been really, really good. 10 targets, 12 targets, 10 so double-digit targets in 4 of his 7 games.
He's only had 1 bad game.
You gotta roll with Myers, especially if it's a negative game script.
See, I feel like you have to. I feel like you gotta roll.
Jimmy
with
G's gonna be chucking the ball to him.
I feel like you gotta go with Palmer personally.
Really? Okay.
Just going against a bad Chicago defense. Like, I don't know. That's tough, man. I lean. I'm a Palmer fan. I have to say, the guy just seems to get open, and I feel like he's Herbert's favorite target, low key.
Well, Allen.
Play Rashid Rice. Rashid.
Yeah,
Pick it to
me,
Pickens.
I'm gonna go Myers there. Are you going Palmer or Myers?
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Palmer because I mean, like Side Eye said at the end there, Myers balling, but he's playing against the pissed off Lions defense. Like
Rashi Rice. So Gordon's saying you play. I'm guessing what he's saying there is Collins, Puka, and Rashi. You also have Rashid Shaheed.
and Cortland Sutton.
So if, dude, that's rough. You have like every single you
Type
have
of
a flex.
receiver.
You have a flex player for like
Every
everyone in the
situation.
league.
I can distribute, bro.
You could distribute a flex player to every single player.
I could give up Cortland Sutton. I could give up Rashid Rice. I give up Drake London. I give up Najee. I mean, Rashid Shaheed is the boomer bust as they come. That's 5 players right there.
I'll take Najee and Gollums for Olave and Kareem Hunt.
Let me just shut everything off. Just went black.
Najee and Collins. Olave
You
and
do have Derek
Hunt.
Carr.
And I have CJ. Stroud. It only makes sense.
Hmm. I want the Stroud Collins stack.
Oh, so you want Stroud?
So how about we just
And
trade
we'll come-
quarterbacks?
Justin Fields?
No,
Or CJ
need
Stroud?
Derek
I want Derek Carr. Drop him.
Carr. You did.
I literally had to choose between him, Matthew Stafford, and CJ Stroud, and I dropped Carr.
I'm weak. All right, are we done here?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we done here, boys?
I
Side
think we're done.
I'm gonna lean Palmer. Carter's leaning Myers. The Pickett to Pickens thing is going, like Luke said, that is a tough one to choose. I'm leaning Palmer though. He's consistent and a high flying offense, so that's where I lean.
Okay. I had Pickens and Deontay Johnson's as my busts this week, so obviously I'm staying away from them. And the reason I choose Myers over Palmer is just because of how good Myers has been. And QJ is my sleeper.
Well, if Palmer's questionable,
Okay.
then if he's questionable and he misses, then you just slot in Myers. Worst comes to worst, and just hope Pickens doesn't do well.
Yeah, it'd be worse if Myers was playing Sunday
Right.
night and Palmer was playing. I like what you're thinking there because
You're using your brain at least.
yeah,
We can see that.
yeah. So if it was the reverse, I like the thought, but here, because Palmer's the questionable guy and the early game,
You
Stick
keep
with
him
Palmer.
at you keep Palmer at your flex. Don't play him as a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2.
Yes, sir.
Keep him at your flex,
Yes,
and then
sir.
you can flex in Myers.
Yes, sir. That's how I would roll.
Yep.
Side eye.
It's also an advantage to have a Monday night player. I don't know why. It just is.
No, it's an advantage to have Thursday night players that if you win Thursday, if your players
If you win
do
Thursday
well
night,
Thursday night, you will win the week.
yeah.
Undoubtedly. It happens every week.
I'm cursed on Thursday night, bro. I
I
never
balled out Thursday night last week. Oh my gosh.
Thursday night. I always either get deuced on or like drop a deuce, but it's never.
There's no in between.
It's
You're
never
getting,
I
like,
do good. It's never like the outcome is good for me.
I did very well last week.
This is going back like 5 years of fantasy.
Carr had 19 for me. Cole Marios had 29.
Probably Myers. So Gordon agrees.
Gordon, get out of here, bro. Get scram. Scat.
Good.
Alright. We're wrapping up.
All right, guys. Thank
Side
you.
eye. It's love to you always, bro.
Yeah, thank you for popping out.
Luke. I'll see you soon.
Also, try to get some sleep if you can, bro. But
Side eye, yeah, man. Don't stay up too late tonight, man.
that'll be wild.
He's on mountain time, isn't he?
He's on a different time, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. So you got like an hour or two before you really got to go to bed. Triple F. I'm always doing the streams. Y'all are super chill. Of course, bro. We
Appreciate
try
it.
to create the atmosphere for you, man.
You contribute to the atmosphere too, bro. So.
Yeah, bro. You're part of it being what it is, man. I mean, without you, we don't really, I mean, you got to have some interaction with people that are watching.
Yeah. He's been nasty this year, but not sure if they still got Hoyer out there.
Yeah, Jimmy G's supposed to play, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Big Triple F.
Signing out.
See Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning before the game.
If you got any questions, boys.
Peace.
Peace, love.